I'm Connie.
And I'm Connie.
And we are
Bad News Travels Fast.
Hey, well, we're on our series for communication. And
Yes.
today we're talking about nonverbal communication.
Right. We talked a little bit about it last podcast, but just some more info that we found that I thought was really interesting. So I mentioned that 80% of communication is nonverbal, but this actually broke it down. So it says research also shows that 55% of in-person communication comes from nonverbal cues like facial expressions, right?
55%, that's more than half.
That's just facial
It's
expressions.
just your facial expression.
Right.
Okay.
If you looking up and down, you rolling, you scrunting, you laughing, you smiling, you confused, all of that is on your face. Then you have your body stance. So we talked a little bit about posture and the tone of voice. So according to a study, 7% of the receiver's comprehension of a message is based on the sender's actual words. 7% of a receiver, whoever's receiving the information, their comprehension of a message is based on the sender's actual words.
And sometimes so I'm thinking sometimes you need to actually listen to the words instead of the verbal cues. Only because like I might need to, I'm thinking I might need to convey something, but I'm really upset. Mm-hmm. So don't look at my upsetness. Like I need you to hear my words.
Right, but that's what this thing says.
But
it's important.
7% is my words.
Yes.
That's
so
crazy.
You have to be able to get your nonverbal, your facial expressions, your tone of voice, and the words you're using to line up.
So basically, you can't be mad talking to people.
Yeah, as long as you want to give off that you're mad. Let's go deeper. While you're thinking about how you're going to get this. Okay. So 7% of the receiver's comprehension of a message is based on the sender's actual words. 38% is based on paralanguage, which is your tone of voice, your pace, and the volume of your speech.
Pace? Like when you be talking like you from New York and talking real fast?
And
I be like, can you please slow down?
I be like, what?
Okay.
I be passionate. Let me say, oh, this is okay. No, when I'm excited, like I just start going fast.
Girl, yes, you do.
Okay, and then 55% is based on nonverbal cues. That's body language. So they said that nonverbal cues also affect whether you get a job offer. Judges examining videotapes of actual applicants were able to assess social skills of job candidates with the sound turned off. So they're not even listening to you.
They're just watching your reaction to the conversation and judging it off of that.
Nonverbal cues. So they turn off your words.
Oh,
because body language is nonverbal. Like most of the communication is that. So
and you might be a really good talker.
Right. But if I need your interaction, because companies want to know how well you're going to mesh well. And if your body language always seems firm and in a way that people are not going to receive it.
Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking, what if you're just a good talker, right? But when I turn off the volume, I see that you don't even want to be there. But I couldn't tell that because I was listening
camouflage
to
with your words.
Oh,
snap. Because you know that saying, the body never lies. So if the body doesn't lie, your body is telling me the truth and not your words.
Wow, that's deep.
It is. I'm like, deep. Lord. Okay. They watched the rate of gesturing, time spent talking, and formality of dress to determine which candidates would be most successful socially on the job. Mm-hmm. For this reason, it's important to consider how we appear in business as well as what we say. Mm-hmm. The muscles of our faces convey our emotions.
Wow.
We can send a silent message without saying a word. That's why we do more with silence than we ever could do with speaking. Yeah. Because we're sending silent words with the muscles in our face.
Yes. Wow.
We can send, I said that. Okay. A change in facial expression can change our emotional state. Before an interview, for example, if we focus on feeling confident, our face will convey the confidence to an interviewer. Mm-hmm. Adopting a smile, even if we're feeling stress, can reduce the body's stress level. To be effective communicators, we need to align our body language, appearance, and tone with the words we're trying to convey.
Wow.
That's to be an effective communicator.
So literally, like, you can't be like emotional when you're communicating.
Yeah.
Because I think once you get emotional, you know, I used anger as an example, but once you're emotional, you could be conveying so many other things that you don't necessarily want to convey.
Right.
Or whatever the other person is going to receive. Right. It's going to be way off from what you're trying to say.
Right. But it also tells if you're faking. Right, and that's why people don't really like talking over the phone sometimes. Because when I'm going to talk to you over the phone, I can hear your tone and your cadence, right? But I can't read your facial expressions. Because you know you're on the phone, somebody's talking about something, and you like, I hear you, but you rolling your eyes and doing all that, right? So you're saying, yeah, I hear you, like to appear as if you're listening, and you're really trying to understand me when you're not. So on the phone, I can't see that if I'm not on FaceTime or something like that.
Wow, that's deep.
Guess we're not as effective at communicating. And
well, I think that, you know, when you're, so I'm thinking about like when you're trying to resolve an issue with someone, sometimes you're passionate because you want to resolve the issue. So it is something that has upset you or something that made you feel some type of way that's not necessarily positive.
Right, because your body language is communicating your anger, not your passion.
Right. So what could I do? I guess write a note instead.
No, because that can come out in your writing.
Yeah, but I think I probably would prefer to write a note than to be giving you what, like, I think that sometimes somebody can be hurt. And instead of the other person on the other end seeing the hurt, they see anger instead.
Right. So
but I'm hurting.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Because sometimes when you're hurt and you don't know what to do with it, anger comes out because that is an expression sometimes of hurt. So,
but what if you don't feel angry at all? You feel sad.
Right. So how do?
But the other person doesn't know how to convey that.
Right, and that's like the lady that emailed you or gave you the question, like, "Hey, you're talking about serious stuff, but you're laughing."
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your nonverbals are not matching your verbals. So am I supposed to catch the nonverbal of you laughing or the seriousness of what you're talking about? So now it's making sense.
Wow, it does make sense.
Right. So she's confused about what we're conveying.
Right.
Because they don't.
And at that moment, I would have been like, just listen to my words. It's not necessarily about, you know, I'm not going to be sad on the podcast. Like, not on purpose. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we organically will allow our emotions to be whatever.
Right.
But I'm not going to just like get on here to be sad on the podcast.
Correct. But that's because more of communication is nonverbal.
Right.
All of what I'm
looking at all the nonverbals.
Yes.
So obviously she might be someone who sees that more than
the words.
She's a 55% person.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
because 7% is only your words.
7% is only my words.
Yes. So that's why whoever wrote this is saying to be an effective communication, because we're talking about communication and what's effective.
Right.
Because
all that has to line up.
Yes.
Your tone. What else again?
Your tone. Your body language, appearance, tone, and the words.
Your tone and the words have to all line up together if I want to effectively convey what I'm trying to say.
If I want to effectively convey a message to you, because that's what communication is.
Right.
So, and you're communicating to convey meaning, right? I'm listening to get your meaning, and I got your verbal. I got your nonverbal, which is speaking louder than your verbal.
Right. And you know, we kind of talked about this at the table with parenting.
Yes.
Like when we'll say to our children, "You can come talk to me." But then when they come talk to you, you flip out.
Right. So the flipping out is saying, I can't talk to you louder than I can talk to you.
Yes.
So they like, okay, I'm not going to ever talk to you.
Right.
Because that's what we did.
Right. And then we'll say, well, I told them they can talk to me.
But your body said you can't.
Right.
And that's what they're reading. not what you say. Because, I even when I used to work with parents and stuff like that, you tell parents you do what I say and not what I do, right?
That is awful.
But what you do is more important, right? Because you tell a kid, hey, you know what? Reading is important, but they never see you read.
Right.
You have conveyed that reading is not important. And then it's like, they don't listen to me. I am listening, just not to your words.
I'm listening to your actions.
Help! This is
wow.
Good. This is helping us, y'all. Like, y'all don't understand.
Really
okay, so yes. Okay, research. This is the last thing that may not always be true for everybody. Research shows that when individuals are lying, they are more likely to blink more frequently, shift their weight, and shrug. And sometimes when people, see, look at that. The next couple of words is a lie. I'm joking. And it's so funny that you say that, because sometimes when I'm thinking, I look up because I don't know. It's not like I'm trying to lie. I'm just like, and then I'm trying to assess whether I really want to tell them all of the truth. Do I want to say part of it? Do I want to say if I'm not comfortable? Not like intentionally trying to lie, but do I really want to talk about that right now? It's like, and that's how you say, like, when people do like, and that pause, you don't really want to talk about this.
Right.
Because the pause says, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, uncertain. I'm unsure.
Right. So I know, like, when I'm talking to the kids, or like when we have our family talks or whatever, if they pause, I'll ask them, what does that mean?
Yes.
Because you pause, so you went somewhere or you're conveying something, but I don't know what that is because I didn't hear anything. You know what I mean? So the pause in between us asking that question, what does that pause mean? Like, what were you thinking inside of that pause?
Correct. Just like in as a professor, you in class, you ask a question, everybody look away, put your head down. I don't know. I don't know the answer, so don't call on me. Or I'm unsure of the answer, and I don't want to look like a fool in front of everybody. They're communicating all of that, not saying anything, by looking away or looking down.
Or how about this? I don't feel like talking today.
Yeah. It's so much in the nonverbal. Yeah. And that's why, we say you can do more with silence than you ever could do with words. Because your body is always communicating, even when you don't know it.
Silent treatments.
Yeah.
Very effective.
It is. Because I know that you're mad and you're upset with me and I did something wrong without you ever telling me.
Wow.
Because I'm giving you the silent treatment. Mm-hmm. I don't have anything to say to you.
That's deep. Wow.
Help! I'm gonna stop yelling at.
I need somebody.
Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper into tone.
Okay.
So it says another element of nonverbal communication is tone. Mm-hmm. A different tone can change the perceived meaning of a message. Demonstrates how clearly this can be true. Whether in verbal or written communication, if we simply read, I'm going to read some statements. If we simply read the words without adding emphasis, we will be left to wonder about what it's really mean, right? What we really mean. But the emphasis shows how the tone conveys a great deal of information. Now you can see how changing one's tone of voice or writing can incite or diffuse a misunderstanding. So
depending on how you say it, it's not what you said. It was how you said it. So depending on how you said it, depends on what I perceive you are saying.
Yes. And that's even in written, right? What we put emphasis on, what we bold, right? When we use a period instead of an exclamation point, right? When we're using a comma versus a semicolon, right? Everything has a meaning, even in nonverbal communication, especially when you start working higher up. You're going to send a lot more messages and memos and stuff out to people than you are going to talk to them. So you have to be really good at conveying what you are trying to say to somebody in writing, right? Okay, so I'm gonna read a statement, and you tell me what do I mean by that. And so I'm gonna try to do good, and you guys try to guess. You can write comments later.
Oh boy,
you try to guess what tone, because you know how parents say, "Don't use that tone with me."
Right.
It's communicating something.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
I did not tell John you were late. What do I mean?
You didn't tell John I was late. It wasn't you.
Right. So that means someone else did it.
Yeah, it might have been somebody else.
Right. Okay. Good. That's correct. Somebody else told John you were late, but it wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me. I did not tell John you were late.
I didn't do it.
Right.
Period.
This did not happen.
Right.
Good.
Right.
I did not tell John you were late.
You didn't tell him I was late?
Yeah. That means
what did you do then?
I might have.
You did something.
I might have implied it, but I didn't tell him.
Right. Okay.
So I didn't tell him. Like I didn't say.
I didn't tell him.
Yeah, I didn't say Connie was late. Well, she hasn't gotten here yet. Right. I'm implying it, but I didn't tell them because I'm
Got you.
Got it. Okay. Hope you guys are following. All right. I did not tell John you were late.
Well, who did you tell I was late?
Correct. I told Imani.
See,
not
you need
John.
to stay out my business. Is what you need to. Okay, sorry.
Well, you need to be on time. You need to be on time.
Lord, snitch.
I did not tell John you were late.
You told John somebody else was late?
Yep.
You need to stop being a tattletale. What's wrong with you?
I'm gonna get better.
Okay.
I did not tell John you were late. I'm gonna do it over because I think I put emphasis on 2 words.
Okay, tell me again.
Okay. I did not tell John. Dang it. I gotta start over. I did not tell John you were late.
You told him something else though. You told him something.
I told him you still are late.
God help us. Whoever this person is got serious issues. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but you're getting the different tones on the specific words.
And they all mean different. Every sentence means something different depending on the word that you emphasize.
Yes. That's communication. And so you're communicating totally. I'm communicating so many different things with you with the same sentence.
Because in real life, I would be like, well, what you mean?
Yes.
What you mean? Like, what? You didn't tell John. Well, who'd you tell? Like, what did you talk about?
Because I'm putting the emphasis on John. That ain't the person. It was Imani or Sharon or Jim.
Okay. Is there any more? Is that it?
It's one more. One more. I did not tell John you were late.
You didn't tell him I was late. Mm-hmm. Okay. You told him what then? That I was coming on time?
That she was at another meeting.
Don't that mean I'm late?
No, it means that you're at another meeting.
Don't that mean I'm gonna be? See?
Right. But see, I told him you were attending another meeting, right? Okay. Attending another meeting doesn't mean that you're late because maybe you're not even coming. But you thought I told John you were late. So John is obviously the supervisor.
Oh, Lord. You done got me in trouble.
No, you being at the other meeting and not on time got you in trouble.
See, that's a lie. So to me, some of this communication is a bit manipulative.
It can be. It says changing your tone can dramatically change your meaning. And when we're communicating, we think about what we said the definition of communication was.
Yeah.
And let me go back and read it for those of you who maybe haven't seen the first podcast, or maybe you watched our first series out of order. It went too far. Okay. Sorry, it's loading. Okay, so it says wrong one. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. Okay? Let me take about that. I'm trying to look for the one that talks about inferring meaning.
So also, your tone can decide if you're telling the truth or a lie.
Right. There's some manipulation in there. We talked about this at dinner, like the manipulation in there. And some of that comes in with sarcasm. Mm-hmm. When you be like, oh, I'm like, nah. Like, you know, like if you might say like, yeah, I'm going to get ready to work out. Or I'm going to go do this. I'm like, let me know how that working out for you. What am I saying in my sarcasm?
You a mess. That's what you said. That's awful.
Yeah, let me know how that work out for you.
Right. But you're saying it with an attitude.
I'm saying it's like, I don't think it's going to work. Like,
right.
It's dumb for you trying it. Instead of saying like, girl, I don't think it's going to work. I'm sarcastic. And so sarcasm, they say, is not a good way to communicate.
Right.
And so, but like back to tone of voice so we can stay on. So your tone and your nonverbals. So
sarcasm is a tone all by itself.
It is. Seems like it is. And then you can see the sarcasm when you write it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like how you're writing something, you put LOL when you want to diffuse the mood, and so they won't think you so serious.
Right. I've done that before.
Right. You put LOL, and you're not even really laughing, but I'm not mad.
Right.
You want to convey that because maybe the words can mean that. And so even like, let's talk about facial expression, right? Because like I'm from New York, so I roll my eyes sometimes. Sometimes I'm not rolling it because you're getting on my nerves, but rolling it like what does that mean? So I'm looking up. But when I'm rolling it, it's like that's stupid.
Right.
And it's not meaning that you get on my nerves. It's different things. So we roll our eyes for different
reasons.
Right. And depending on the culture or the city and state in which you were, brought up in.
Yeah. And you just made me think about like when a lady had called me and she said her husband was having cancer treatments. Mm-hmm. And she asked the question, we would like the house clean. Do you think that, you should come clean the house? He has to, basically, he can't be around any germs or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And so I was about to text her back because she sent me in a text, and I was about to text her back like, no, I would not have my house clean. I would not have any strangers in the house. Like, mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. But as I was texting it, I'm like, but how is she going to see me saying this?
That's good.
You know what I mean? Because it could have came off like smart and disrespectful. Like, how dare you? You need to, think about your husband more than your house clean. It could have came off like that. Mm-hmm. So I called her instead because I didn't even know how to write it where she might not misconstrue something.
Right.
So I just called her and I said, I'm calling because I just want to be honest with you and I wanted you to hear my heart and not just the text messages. I said, if it was me and my husband was going through chemo and all that, I wouldn't have anyone in the house. Yeah, because I said, I know that we come and we sanitize and we do all of that. I said, but I'm in a different house every day. I said, so, it might not be a good idea, at this time. And maybe we should just wait until he's cleared. And she was like, oh, thank you so much for calling. I did not want for her to be thinking that I'm talking to her disrespectfully.
Or you telling her what to do about a situation.
Right. Even though she asked, I didn't want it to feel like being harsh with her, especially in this time of need.
Yeah. I think that's good. That's good to do that. And I think sometimes that's why you got to call people. And I think, like, especially like with the last couple of generations, we're more into seeing people. And especially because, of quarantine, we're on Zoom, right?
Right.
So sometimes it's like, people be like, oh, Lord, help my face. Because your face is going to tell what you're really thinking.
Right.
Even though you're really not saying anything.
Right.
Right. Because you're quiet in class.
Because we are good at lying.
That's the thing. We're good at pretending.
Yeah.
And that we feel something that we don't.
Yeah.
And we don't realize how much we're communicating. And so like my professors are like, hey, everybody, the rule is everybody's webcam is on. And he says, because he'll ask a question, but he'll ask us, does everybody understand? Right?
Nobody don't say a word.
Nobody say a word. We don't understand. So what he's doing is looking at our facial expressions. Okay, let me say it in a different way. Because none of us understood.
Right.
Right. Does that make sense? You like... Right, if I'm doing this, it don't really make sense.
Yeah, you're making me think about, this is off subject.
Okay.
So like pretending to be or pretending to be something that we're not, or pretending that we have feelings that we don't, or pretending. I think we do a lot of pretending because we want to look a certain way or portray a certain way. And we had a conversation about like forgiveness, and I was asking like the question like, when you're trying to forgive somebody or whatever, have you accepted them for who they are and that imperfect person that hurt you? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times when someone has hurt us, we still haven't accepted them for who they are. Like, somebody hurt me, they stabbed me in the back. They were manipulative, they lied on me, or whatever the case, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm saying I'm going to forgive them, or I can forgive them, or I forgave them. We'll say that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I forgave them, I let it go. But if they do it again, they might even do it to somebody else. All that stuff is coming back up again because you never accepted them for who they were. You know how what's her name? Not Oprah, but the other one.
Jill.
Angela. Maya
Okay.
Angelou.
Okay.
She said, when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we don't believe we don't allow people to be who they are.
Well, and we also believe that people can change, and maybe that's manipulative, like hoping they could change or whatever. And people do change. And so I think when you asked me that question, it was hard because what am I seeing them as? Just an imperfect person?
Yeah, I didn't really say I asked you, but I you wanted to put that out there or not.
Yeah. Okay. We're not saying the specific situation we're talking about. Okay. So yeah, but like, so it's hard to answer the question. Like, have you forgiven them for, I guess, what was the question again? I'm messing it up.
I asked them. Well, I asked you after the forgiveness part. I asked you, have you accepted them for who they are?
Right. And so I think my response was not really who they are. Like, am I accepting that they are an imperfect person?
And manipulative.
Oh, and throw that in there.
Because they were manipulative.
Okay. And manipulative.
Right.
So then I think the answer was no.
Okay.
I think I was forgiving them for the wound they caused.
Okay.
Right? So I'm forgiving you for hurting me. This wound did this. Mm-hmm. And I'm forgiving you for hurting me. And when I forgive you for hurting me, I'm also giving you the opportunity to hurt me again. But not like, oh, that person's just manipulative and that's who they are. Because God can change. And I've seen people be manipulative, let's just say, and then change and not do that. So I don't want to just take that up as that person's just manipulative. Mm-hmm. Because then if I just believe that that's who you are, that's how I'm going to see you.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think there's different styles of, like, for me, if I know who you are, I'm better off. Like, I'm able to
deal with
you accordingly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if I look at a person and I'll say over time, I see that they've been manipulative over time. Okay. I'm like, oh, okay, that person has a tendency to be manipulative.
Okay.
So that's me now accepting them for who they are. And so now when they do something manipulative, I'm not hurt by it.
Right. I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
I get you. That makes sense.
So I guess a different perception or
a different perspective. And I think that comes with my forgiveness too. Like, all right, that's just something that's going to happen. Like, and sometimes I think with forgiveness too, once I've forgiven, right, the next time you do it, depending on what it is, it's like it doesn't affect me the same way. And I think that's when you're able to forgive quickly and not dwell on it, because dwelling makes the wound grow. And that's when it gets infected with bitterness and all that other stuff.
Okay.
And then we get down to revenge and then eventually hatred.
Ooh, those are all communication skills, child.
Yes. Right? And you have to be able to recognize that, because in your nonverbals, you're giving that off. Like, they talking to you, they're like, yeah, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't worry, your time won't come. But I ain't saying that. Right. But I'm not saying that. Right. But my body is saying that. I'm like, or somebody you mad at come talk to you like, hey.
Or even how, our bishop this morning was like, are you able to pray for your enemies or something like that? Mm-hmm. And not curse them or want God to kill them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and I feel like, do people really go that far? I don't know.
Yes, because I hear people all the time be like, God gonna get them. And I'm like, why? Why is he gonna get them? Like, you're a child of God, they're a child of God. They hurt your feelings. That's between y'all. It's just like, so it makes me think of like being a parent and you have two siblings that are having an argument. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to hurt one to get back for the other one. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all need to work that out. I ain't trying to kill one of y'all.
Right.
I mean, not kill literally, but you know what I'm saying.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Because you're a mother. How do you feel your children communicate non-verbally in a disrespectful way?
That's to me or to each other?
To you. Like, what do you perceive disrespect non-verbally?
Oh, the main one that they all have done or do. So that's it right there.
So what if that don't mean he's tired? They are tired.
That means they don't want to do what I just said. So if I say, hey, I need you to empty that dishwasher, they'll drop their head and do that little huff, and I'll be ready to puff it right out of them. But I've gotten better with that though over time.
Bless the Lord.
Bless the Lord.
Yes.
I don't go snatch them no more. I just be like, just get the dishes. I mean, as long as you get in the dishes, I'm good.
So you respond to their nonverbal?
Sometimes, but not no more. Hardly ever now. Just as long as they go and do what I said. You can huff and puff all you want. Just huff and puff your way on over to those dishes. Mm-hmm. But that's after 5 children.
Yeah, I got you.
The first couple probably got whooped for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably did.
But the middle 2 probably ain't get whippings for that.
Yeah, you get better as you get. I'm the baby, so my mother got better, right? They mommy would have slapped us for that. She didn't slap you. Yeah. So I think that, okay, I'm just trying to get communicated out. So let me ask another question then. So you have kids, and if you see that your child is frustrated, right? Mm-hmm. Based on their nonverbals, how do you respond to that? Like, what are you doing? Are you like, hey, what's wrong? Or are you like, hey, get it together, we at dinner or whatever?
Well, it depends on what's happening. And I know like in the past, so, us coming together, for our dinners or whatever is really important for me to instill that in them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's also time that I can spend with them that I maybe have missed throughout the week.
Okay.
So mm-hmm. I really cherish that time. And so if somebody coming to the table angry, like consistently, okay, we got a problem. You don't bring that to the table when we all trying to, you're bringing a whole negative energy to the table and we all trying to, but at the same time, okay. Like I've grown in that area. So, like, I remember a time one of my children, they were consistently coming to the table angry. Mm-hmm. And so I had to go talk to them about it. Yeah. But, like, after the time. Like, I waited a couple days when, he asked me to take him somewhere and we was in a car. And I was just like, telling him about how important it is to spend time with them at the table and how we're, how I felt mm-hmm. about the coming to the table together. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then I said, you've been coming to the table angry like 4 weeks in a row. And now, and everybody's like arguing at the table instead of us having a good time with each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So what is going on mm-hmm. when it's time to come to the table? And so at the time, it was basically like, well, I wanted to do this instead, mm-hmm. And you're making me come to the table and I want to do this instead. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, we got to make a compromise because I'm only asking you to come to the table once a week.
For maybe 30 minutes to an hour.
Right. So, can we make a compromise here? And,
I ask that because I've often talked to children, like sometimes when they're acting out, and it's like I was communicating that something was wrong and no one was listening.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But they wasn't saying this, right? So maybe his frustration coming to the table was saying, hey, something is wrong. But we didn't take the time to figure it out, or we didn't understand what that meant.
Oh, like the one time we had talked about this earlier, the one time when he came straight in the house and I told him to wash his hands. And it was time to have our dinner, and he came to the table angry, and I'm like, don't come in here with that attitude, blah blah blah. I immediately start going in, mm-hmm. He sits down at the table. Then his dad is like, you need to get some vegetables, and I mean, it's like
egging on.
We just, oh my gosh, one thing after another to him.
Yes,
because of his attitude, we are now triggered by that, and we are now. I call it abuse, but now I call it abuse. Just go ahead and whoop him, but not whoop him physically.
Yeah.
You know what
I'm saying? But
you
damage him emotionally, and all the time that you told him that you can come to me.
Right.
No,
I can't.
It's not being displayed.
Because I really should have, he was just coming in the door, and he came inside with an attitude. So I should have asked him, what's wrong? What happened? And I should have stopped what I was doing. because I already know what his response would have been is nothing, everything's okay. I should have said, no, let's go upstairs for a second. What happened? Somebody make you upset? Somebody hurt your feelings? You know?
Yeah, see, the thing you said, though, was what happened, not what did you do.
Right. So that one particular day when all of that happened and God just like was really dealing with me after that day, a police officer had stopped all of them and accused them of something that they didn't do. And that had upset him. And that was the first time a police officer had ever,
had an encounter.
He ever had an encounter with a police officer, and he was scared. So it wasn't really that he even came in the house with an attitude. He came in scared.
Yeah.
And I didn't even recognize his fear. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I could be sad and somebody see it as anger. I saw his fear as anger.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So we can, based off of our experience, we can perceive something that's not there.
And that's what they said it means. The nonverbal is inferring meaning.
Right.
And that can be scary and dangerous because I can infer the wrong thing.
Yes.
So maybe when I'm recognizing, even in therapy and counseling, because I'm watching your body language and I'm listening to your words, I have to call you out on it. So there's confrontation skills, right? Hey, you keep saying that you're excited about this, but you're crying.
Right.
So help me understand, because they're not matching.
Right.
Right. And we know effective communication is when our body language, our tone, and our words all go together. So right now they're saying that there's some discrepancies going on. There's something not flowing together.
Yes.
So I need to understand what you're truly communicating, because your nonverbals are not saying what your verbals are.
Yes. And also, I had to apologize to that child.
Yes.
Put that out there.
Please.
After that day, I just said, come on, let's go talk. And I said, what is going on? Like, why are you coming to the table with an attitude? You just came in the door, like, and you're coming in with an attitude. And I'm thinking has an attitude towards me. And then he tells me the story about what happened. And I felt so bad that I perceived his attitude as something that it wasn't. And I don't like that.
Yeah, and we always think something has to do with us. What's that about?
Oh my gosh.
Another conversation.
Oh my gosh. It is awful, because most times when your kids are dealing with issues, it be about you, but not about you. So about you meaning how they're responding to something is usually something you taught them. No offense. But if your child has anger issues, you probably taught that. They probably learned that from you. So, and a lot of times you'll have people be like, well, no, they didn't learn that anger from me. No, you do your anger different. You're silent instead.
Correct, because it's different ways to convey anger.
Yes. So I remember a lady I was talking to about her, her son was having issues or whatever. He had anger issues that was outward anger issues. He would express his anger outwardly. She was expressing her anger with giving him silent treatment all the time. I'm like, how he's doing the same thing you're doing, but just in a different avenue, a different way. You know what I mean? So you're using your anger. You think your silence is helping, but your silence is letting him know he can't depend on you. Your silence is letting him know he can't trust you. There is no safe place. And so all of that is building up anger in him.
Yeah, and now he knows. Then this is with me, myself, and I. All I can depend on is me, because these other people are not there. And then they take that into relationships, and I don't need you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now they don't know how to have interpersonal relationships or romantic relationships.
Oh my gosh.
So it's
your girlfriend is always saying you're so self-centered, but I've learned that.
And you made me thought I was smiling because you made me think of the movie Anger Management.
That movie, oh my gosh,
it's crazy.
That movie irritated me so bad.
No, but it's a good movie.
No, it was a great movie.
Yes,
but he irritated me so bad.
But he said
wasn't it Jack Nicholson?
Yes. But he helped to get the guy. Sometimes therapy got to be unorthodox. I'm playing. Let me not say that because I'm a therapist, right?
Oh, right.
Okay, right. So, but it was good. He said, you have the one person who's crazy and is going to yell and scream at the cash register. You are the one that will be silent and not say anything and then come shoot up the place.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he said to him.
That was
the
good
two different types of ways that you convey anger.
Right. So you think you're not bad because
you're not screaming
and cursing.
But it's worse.
Your anger is building up inside.
And then you explode.
And then you're going to
explode.
Action.
Yes.
Your anger is going to be action, a big action.
Right. Because you let people take over you. And in that movie, he wouldn't stand up for himself. All of those things. Okay, I'll just go do what they take credit for his work. They get promoted. He's been in the same position.
Right.
All of those things. And you do nothing. And you're quiet. And so, but you're really angry and you really want to be assertive and but you're not communicating. And so silence is a big communicator.
Yes.
It is. Even like when like I said, when I've done therapy, they in their silence, I just give them time to get it. And I'm looking at all the body language and then they'll come to speaking. And I think sometimes even when we're reading people's nonverbals, we have to also, and this is probably something we can talk about next one as we get ready to end.
Oh snap!
Yeah. Okay. So
it's been 40 minutes already. Oh my gosh!
All right, we ended. We have to know when to approach us based on body language. Like I said, your body language gave something off to me when I first came in.
Right.
But I knew this wasn't the time to deal with it. It wasn't. So communication is also timing. Yeah. Even if I see the nonverbals, because we say we don't want to, the Bible says don't throw pearls before swine, right? We don't want to come talk to somebody when they're not in a headspace to receive and then get upset when the action or the advice given is not taken. Right. Because my nonverbal says not right now.
Yeah. Even though you probably could have came over and been like, what's wrong?
Yeah, I know. But
and I've been like, oh, my head is hurting and I'm sleepy and I just,
but it came out later because I was patient.
Right. Right.
So then I didn't need to come to you and say, "Hey, what's wrong, girl?"
Right, right.
So patience is a type of communication.
Yes.
Can I be patient enough with you for you to?
Yeah, you're making me think of like keeping the peace. Mm-hmm. Like there's a false peace sometimes that we call ourselves doing. So like someone keeps doing something to us. And so it's like, you didn't like it the first time, but you let it go. You didn't like it the second time, but you let it go. You didn't like it the third time, you let it go. By the fourth time, you're blowing up at them. And they're shocked because they didn't know when they did it the first 3 times that it was wrong. And a lot of times, that it bothered you. Right. And a lot of times we'll say things like, well, they should have known. And that's not a thing. Like, we really have to stop saying that. Right. Because everyone has not been raised in the same area, raised by the same people. There's information that they don't know. There's information they know that you don't know.
Correct. And should have known what and I think, okay, this is what I was thinking, right? And especially because we're Christians and we're spiritual, we feel like you have to always discern something. But God has given us a mouth. Right. So to communicate. Yes. So you need to let me know because I'm not always going to pick it up. Right. So I want you to communicate, right? And we want people to pick up stuff that we're afraid to communicate. Yeah. And so it was like, no, and then we like, oh, they discernment off. No, your communication's off. Right. Just tell me what I'm doing. Right. That's bothering you, which takes me to a quote and we'll end back to Zora Neale Hurston's quote. If you're silent about your pain, people will kill you and say you enjoyed it. Yeah. Because you've never told me that it was bothering you. Right. Right. So we have to, and it's best to, the very first time, if something irritates you, to say something then. Hey, I don't like it when you do that. Yeah. Like, oh girl, why you do that? I don't like that. Right. Or whatever, however you want to say it. Yeah. But it's usually a lot less than it is the 4th time. It is. Because by the 4th time, you ready to hurt somebody. Right. Like, I always do that. You've never said anything. Right. When you should have said something the very first time. Right. There's no need to pretend to be someone that you're not. There's no need to pretend to like something that you don't like. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast. We did. Oh, okay. Like, especially if you're dating someone, don't pretend to like things that the person you're dating likes. Don't pretend. And smile. If you don't like basketball, don't act like you like basketball. Because if y'all go the distance and finally get married, you ain't never gonna watch basketball again. And then he gonna be like, "What happened to my friend? I want you to watch basketball with me." He's like, "I don't like basketball." He's like, "What you mean?" And I took you to a whole basketball
football game.
All the money I could have spent.
You're like, I hated it.
Yeah.
Be honest and upfront from the jump, and be okay with you.
Right. And that's another part of communication, is about being honest and being vulnerable. And I think we need to, because we know that now that everybody, even us, we know how much our nonverbal is communicating, we need to be mindful of the nonverbal.
Yeah, I'm going to be real mindful now, because I'm like, oh, my tone, my words, my face, and all of that.
Your posture. So if
my
you
posture.
Slouch, or you like, like, that says something. Like, why you all up on me? Like,
all that got to line up together if I want to communicate something that's important.
And yes, they need to all be saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't need to smile just so you don't know that I'm hurt.
Right.
Because how can I help? You're communicating deceit almost, because you're right. Why are you laughing? And you know you want to cry.
Right.
Because you know how we
like,
laugh.
Girl, you hurt my feelings. Then you'll be like, what? What is
I'm looking at your smile though. I can hear the words. You know how Chris Michael said, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? No. Because I'm looking at your facial expression and you don't even think you're making sense.
Right.
So yes. Okay. Nonverbal communication.
Yes. That's part 2. We will be on part 3 next week.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Black business shout out. So, a young lady named Desi did my hair, and she does our business is called Diamond Artistry. And so she did these lovely things. And one thing I like about what she does, so when I get to the shop, she cleanses my scalp. So what she did was she parted my hair and she used this grease, so oil. So it's for hair loss, thinning, dandruff, and it helps to boost growth. And so this is like a hair and scalp treatment. So she kind of goes down and parts and does that. And then she uses this spray. This spray is for locks, twists, braids, natural hair. And it has tea tree, aloe vera, olive oil, all that. It conditions and shines, and it also helps to detangle. So she starts to comb my hair with the detangling brush.
Okay.
Which works really well because I have really tight curls. And so it helps to get it to clean it.
And that detangling brush works.
Yes. And she sells these too.
I've used that on Sayla's hair.
It's a miracle, because I wasn't like,
wait, this ain't the one that comes apart. Oh yeah, it is. It does come apart. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And so this is also her book. And so this she kind of cleanses. She cleans your scalp, and then she blow dries it, does a treatment, and then she does your hair. And so these products come with it. And so this is a Black-owned business called Hairbiotics. And she is a distributor. And so we're going to have some information in the description box. And they have like a 40% off items when you purchase 2. And so this is type 4 Hairstore, natural hair care products. But Desi also sells. So she gives this book out. And so she did the big chop. And so on the back, she cut her hair. And within 4 years, she has longer than shoulder length hair. Mm-hmm. And so she's about hair care. She also has bonnets. She has like the little cap, the little edge cap you want to put on. So it's good. She just like total hair care. And so check her out. We'll put her website and her information in the description box if you want to get your hair done. But you get a full treatment. She also does touch-ups, and she'll clean your scalp. She also takes out the braids as well. I know Monty loves that because I'm always asking her to do it. You probably doing it thinking out though. Okay, yes. So anyway, shout out to Desi. She did an awesome job. So this is by Desiree Purnell, and these are all the products. So go and look at it, and then what do you want to say?
Please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please leave comments. Like, we need your comments. We need your likes. We need your subscription. Please check us out. Please share. Anyone that might need to know about communication. Sometimes we just need one little tidbit to help us go to the next level in our communication.
Right. And if you have a specific question about communication.
Oh, yes. Please, you can email us, or you can put down there in the comments. Please, 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 please. All right. We love you.